And welcome to today's Crosslink webinar, What's New in Crosslink for 2021. My name is John Amaya. I am the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Public Relations here at Crosslink. I'll be your moderator for today's call, and we're going to be taken through the presentation today by Priscilla Amelbert, one of our senior trainers here at Crosslink Professional Tax Solutions. So with that, I don't want to talk any longer. I want to turn this over to Priscilla for the presentation portion. At this time, Priscilla, I can see your screen.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And hello, everybody out there, and welcome to today's webinar for What's New within Crosslink. We are going to be covering several different topics today, and that will be going over IRS-related program updates. I'll be showing the simple forms that, that came out with the new tax law updates, new and enhanced features to Crosslink, and then finally, different additional earning potentials with Crosslink and going through those different services that we have. So we'll get started with the IRS-related program updates. And we have several modifications made to the software. We have now seen that the 1040 is 38 lines compared to the last few previous years. And that's because they added the virtual currency question. It's in between the 1040, and that used to be on Schedule 1. And we also have a new line 30, and that is for the recovery rebate credit. So I'll show that in the program. We're going to toggle between screens so you guys can get familiar with those. And then just some nice items that have been updated, that you can print certain forms in Spanish. Definitely can print 1040, and I'll again show that to you guys. And just make a note of that when you're going through your printing options, that those can be applied for certain 1040 forms. We also have the 1040 senior. Those are for the senior citizens, that their 1040 will actually print in 2 pages, because the only option there is that their font size is larger than the regular 1040. So again, I'll show you where you can mark that on the form. And just note, as a nice housekeeping item, that we will be doing another IRS update webinar on January 21st. And just mark your calendars about that, because these items will go in much detail than what I'm doing today. So what are the new forms that we have available from the IRS? We have the 8275, the 1099 NEC, 7202, Schedule LEP, and then for our business package, we have the 1120F and the 990T. So I won't be able to show you the business package forms, but just note if you do have the business package when it gets released, just be on the lookout for those if you're taking notes. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and toggle into the program just to show you what these new forms look like. Okay, so here I have opened up the 1040, and as you can see, the 1040 is marked as tax returns for seniors and also Spanish speaking. And where did I find that option? Was right here, located on the top right of the 1040. As you see, I marked an indicator for seniors, and it's all just larger text when it prints. And then it can also print in Spanish. So that is where you find that indicator for those options for printing. And as we scroll down, you also note right after your taxpayers information here, you will see that you have the virtual currency question. And it is required for you guys to fill out now. So did you sell, receive, send, or exchange any financial interest via virtual currency? You simply mark this yes or no. So this is where you can find this question. And then as I scroll down, I'll do a bit slowly if it's your first time getting into the new program and seeing the 1040. We do have additional line items here. So as I get down to line 30 here, it asks for the recovery rebate credit, and it is a calculated field. When you look at it, the gray boxes are normally calculated. You should never really go in there and edit those numeric values. But if you click on line 30, right here in our active window, it is telling you that enter status received was either non or received on a worksheet. So you can see that the worksheet button is highlighted, and that means you can click on it and then fill out the worksheet that pertains to line 30 on the 1040. So you could go through here and, mark anything that's applicable and just review that for your taxpayer. So again, that is the recovery rebate credit worksheet for line 30 of the 1040. Okay, so that covers the main new changes on the 1040 with those new line items. But now I'll go ahead and switch into those new forms that were released. So the first one is the Schedule LEP, and all it is a request for a change in language preference. As you see, the question states, I would prefer to receive written communications from the IRS in the following language. So you don't have to text actually the language in here. You can use that choices button down below, and we do provide the available languages for the IRS right there in this database menu. So again, click on that choices button, and then you can go ahead and select which one applies, and it fills out that form for you. So this is the Schedule LEP. And then we also have the new form, the 1099 NEC, which is non-employee compensation. And then you just go ahead and fill this one out if it's applicable. And then the last new form that we have for the 1040 package is the 8275, which is a disclosure statement. So if you, again, needing any of these forms to be applied to your taxpayer's tax return, you can always find them in the Add Forms function key, just scrolling throughout here, or typing in the numbers here as I am doing right now, and then they would show. So that is how you get to these forms, and these are, again, the new forms that came along with the IRS updates. So now let's move on to our new and enhanced features that we have available throughout the Crosslink products. So the first one, what are some updates that came to Crosslink Desktop? We are able to now e-file amended returns for tax years 2019 and 2020, so that is newly available. And with that said, you can also print amended federal and state forms only. So you don't have to print the whole print package that you may have. If you had an amended return, you're just printing the main forms of the federal and state. So that is available throughout your setup. And you can also, going with printing, you can customize the print order of your tax return. So again, that's located in the setup menu of desktop, setup, printer setup. And you can actually see a new button there that says print order, and you can control if you have your client letters printing first, then your invoice, and your tax return. So just know if you really want to be detailed with those type of things, that is available for you within the desktop. And of course, we're always adding to our extended lookup options. And extended lookup is where you can build your own customized reports within the desktop solution. So you can really get detailed with all the different reports that best fit your business model. And with our new features available today are for remote signature and pending or completed. So you can run a report on which ones are still pending, which ones have been completed, and run those numbers daily, as well as the remote signature count. And you can just, it might be a nice end of season report to just say how many remote signatures did I complete this entire season. And so that is available. As well as running a report on a 1040X acknowledgement code. And the 1040X, how many e-filed. So again, you can run reports on these different options here. And that's all found in the desktop software under select a return under extended lookup. You could customize these reports to fit your business model. And the last one was taxpayer occupation. So that might be a nice one if you needed to add there to any customized reports you may have. Okay, so now going on with our mobile app, TaxPass. So we did introduce TaxPass a few seasons ago, but we're always making enhancements to it. So I just like to start from the beginning what TaxPass is all about, and then I'll show you guys the new features that it has available to you guys. So TaxPass, it has the ability for your taxpayer to start a tax return and submit their documents to your tax office. And how does that look? So of course it's available for Android or Apple phones. They just go to their app store and they can download the app. And what you do need to provide them as the ERO, the account office, is a unique QR code that is provided for each office. So this code does need to be submitted to the taxpayer in order for them to submit the tax return to your office. And this is really important because this is how we know here at Crosslink where to funnel the return to. So just note this image here on my screen. That's a QR code, the digital box that can be downloaded and printed on your marketing material. But again, if you're not familiar with QR codes and how they work, you can definitely promote the code underneath, the CBLYJ2M0 code. That can also be typed in on the app. So this way, again, they're putting in the QR code for your office. Where do you find these QR codes? Well, if you are a desktop user, you're going to go straight to crosslinktax.com. You're going to log into your portal, and it will be under Mobile App Management under the Support tab. So again, it's on your Crosslink Tax portal. And if you're a Crosslink Online user, you're going to click on your name, which opens up the profile menu when you log into Crosslink Online. So those are the two ways you get your QR code, available to you, so you can put it on your marketing material, and make sure you're just handing that piece of information to your taxpayers, because they will not be able to submit the tax return to your office without this QR code. Okay, so I just really want to take a pause, take it in. This is really important for you guys to give to your customers to submit the tax return. So now moving on, what does the TaxPass look like? So TaxPass has the ability for your taxpayers to start a tax return. And as you see on this image here, it says start new return. It has a nice progress bar at the top where it says begin. And they're going to simply fill out that client data screen. So they are entering their name, their address, their filing status, they can enter dependents if they need to. So they're just giving you that client intake form that you would normally hand out. And then, of course, they can also upload supporting documents. And if you take a look at that screenshot here, we have a documents tab here. So that is where they can now click on, and they can take pictures of their W-2, driver's license, 1099, any documents you may support that you want them to provide to you, they can add there, and it all flows into desktop and online under the document archive when you import the return. So that's how that works, and they can supply that. And just note, just because they're taking a picture, let's say, of the 1099, the tax return is not going to start a 1099 for you. The only form that will be started is a W-2 if they choose the manual option part. Okay, I just want to make sure I am clear about that. When they select W-2, it could be manual entry, and that's them actually filling out the W-2 form. And then that, of course, will generate on a tax return when it comes into your office. If they just take pictures of the W-2, then it's just going to be a supporting document within the document archive. And as a tax preparer, you would still finish that return for them. And then finally, they can also check the status of their submitted return. As you see right there, it says check status. That will be available to them once they have submitted it to you and you guys have submitted the tax return to the IRS. They'll have that capability. So these are all existing features to TaxPass. These have been out for at least 2 seasons. So again, that was a nice recap, but we have enhanced the app this summer with some brand new features available to you guys. So with that, one of the new ways that you can integrate with your taxpayer is through messaging. So if you notice at the bottom of my screenshot here, there is a message icon, and that messaging is working with you as the preparer and the taxpayer. So right here, you're seeing what it looks like in the mobile app. The taxpayer has read ahead, sent you a message. So this is your messaging view. And this is what it looks like in the software here. So you'll see, if they opted in for the messaging, that you'll see TaxPass messaging available to you under attached forms list of the tax return. And that's, of course, where you have your federal forms, your document archive, just as you see listed there. That's on the left-hand side of your active window. And then if you choose TaxPass messaging, you'll be able to write a message to your taxpayer. And again, it's going to alert them in the app they have a message there, and you guys can have that communication going both ways. So that is a new feature that is to the app, is again, messaging integration between the taxpayer and the software. And also, we also have the ability to now sign the tax return via remote signature. With that, if you opt in to our remote signature service, then you can provide the option for your taxpayer to sign their tax return inside the mobile app utilizing remote signature. Of course, all the devices are touchscreen these days, so they're able to sign that signature. So that is brand new. Before, we only were limited to email or text message, and I'll go over remote signature a little bit later. But again, it's a nice new feature to the mobile app. It's a one-stop shop where your taxpayers can download the app, submit their tax return, check on their status, and then sign their documents. So again, providing that one-stop shop to you, all available within TaxPass. And then we also have an additional function for TaxPass. So that was for your taxpayers to submit tax returns to the office. But we also have another functionality of it that's called kiosk mode. And kiosk mode is for your preparers to submit tax returns to the office. So you may have mobile agents, mobile preparers that are out there just collecting data, getting those tax returns, and wanting to send them into the office. So what that looks like is when you do click on the app, you just select kiosk mode, and you're going to, again, enter in that QR code because, of course, the app needs to send a tax return to an office. And once you put that in, then you're just able to, again, fill out that intake form, that client data for anybody you're working with. And then it's not, tied to a taxpayer. You're just simply submitting returns into the office, and then they can import them and finalize them. So that is kiosk mode. It's there, again, for those mobile preparers, or maybe you just have a tablet in the front of your office, and you're having your taxpayers go in and submit their information via the mobile app while they're waiting to be called to be seen by a preparer. So that's the dual way of functioning with TaxPass, okay? And now we're moving on to TextLink Plus. Again, another way of communicating with your taxpayers. So TextLink Plus is the ability to send a text message to all taxpayers and receive a response back within the software. So what does that look like? It's available to all of our customers. It's included with your software package. It's available in desktop and Crosslink Online. And what do you need? How do you opt in? How do you send a text message? Well, all you need to make sure is that you have your taxpayer's phone number and carrier. And of course, they opt in to receive text messages from you, from the software. So that's all taken care of on the client data screen of the tax return. Again, that's the main screen that your tax return always opens up to, the client data screen, where you're putting in your taxpayer's name and number. Go ahead and fill out their cell phone information there. And here's what it looks like both in online and desktop. So as you know, with online, you'll see, again, when you're on the tax return, you have a nice big blue arrow button on the top right of your screen. That opens up a menu. You're going to select send text message. And as you see right there, it's showing you the recipient, their phone number, and then the message that you are sending to them. And all you have to do is hit send. And of course, if they have opted in to receive messages from you, they'll be able to communicate with you back and forth within the software. Because right underneath that red circle, I have received text messages. And that will, again, populate for you with their response to your text message. So that's how it works in Crosslink Online. Moving to desktop, very similar concept. You just have that function key right there on your toolbar. It says send text. And as you make sure, again, you have their cell phone number, they've opted in, you have their carrier, all that filled out on your client data screen, and then you're able to write that message to them. And you'll also be able to receive their responses within both softwares and applications. So that's TextLink Plus. It's simply communication between you and your taxpayers to be able to just move throughout the season and communicate with them. Okay, now moving on to our new product that we have rolled out is Crosslink Online. So Crosslink Online is both a scalable, flexible solution that supports all internet accessible devices and platforms. What that means is that you're simply going to a browser, crosslinkonline.com, and you can use it as long as you have internet. Mac, Apple, PC, phone, tablet, it's all doable on our online software. Because we have really focused on the stability of the program. We've enhanced it tremendously over the last summer. As going with today's times, it's really important to be able to provide an online solution. And with the stability, we've always focused on scaling, solidifying, and securing our network. So we're providing a state-of-the-art program to you guys. And a performance level. It's robust. It's an easy-to-learn application. It mimics our desktop software with how to complete a tax return. So that learning curve is very, very small. It's minimal to where if you're coming from desktop and you're transitioning to online, you're not losing or having to learn how to do the flow of a tax return again. It's all the same steps and procedure. And it's just a really nice updated program to just be mobile. You can do a tax return anywhere, again, as long as you have internet. So that is Crosslink Online. And we also have now partnered with a third-party company called PayJunction. And PayJunction allows for a zero-touch terminal integration with Crosslink. So what does that mean? If you go ahead and you sign up with PayJunction, we do partner with them, where you can actually offer a terminal merchant service program within your office. So what does that look like? It provides paperless processing system. So again, going with today's time with COVID and everything, you can have a super secure payment merchant service right there in your office, and they can go ahead and submit their payment for their tax preparation fees. A nice note is that if you are a Crosslink Online user, that we do have invoice integration with that. If you are with Crosslink Online, as you see my screenshot there, you will be able to record their prep fees payment on their invoice. So that is a nice touch there. And what kind of payments are you wondering that they accept? Well, they take all the newest methods. So, of course, you can swipe your card. All chip readers are active. And, of course, smartphones, right? We all have Google Play or Android or Apple Pay Wallet. So those are available as well. So it's a really nice program that we have partnered with. And if you have additional questions or wanting to just inquire more information, check out our website, crosslinktax.com, and look at the PayJunction section, and you can be linked to their site and go ahead and read the more information there. So again, PayJunction, it's a terminal integration where it offers paperless invoicing for you guys. Okay, so now to our last section of additional earnings potential. So what does this mean? Well, Crosslink has introduced our Ecom Wallet, where you can control your earning potentials for a new product that we have, pay per return, our remote signature fees, and our e-file revenue generator. So this is where these programs will be housed. And where can you set up your wallet? If you're a single office user, you can set it up right there within your software. Both desktop and online have access to your wallet. Sure, you may have already seen it if you've already been in the year 2020, and they're right there within your setup menus. If you are a multi-office user, you have maybe multiple offices, different user IDs, then I definitely advise you going to Crosslink portal and go ahead and generate it from there and access your wallet, because it's a one-stop shop for you. So I mentioned pay per return. So this is available, again, as John kind of stated earlier in the webinars. Not all these products are for everybody, but you may see something that can help you expand your business, such as pay per return. It's available for both individual and business returns. And we say that because it can be for those tax businesses that are new, or simply you may want to start expanding your offerings. And it allows you to start offering those corporate returns, those business package returns, at a low minimal cost. And you can simply start off small and see how you are doing with the corporate returns and expand your business maybe next season. So we are available for pay per return, and It's just paying for a set package, and then you're just simply paying per return as you go on. So it is a really nice way to start expanding your offerings. And remote signature. So I know remote signature has been around for a while, but we have, really spent the summer of enhancing our remote signature capabilities. And with that, there is a now service charge with it because we are available with text message, email, and TaxPass. Like I stated earlier when I went through the TaxPass demo, you are able to, again, send those remote signatures if the return has been submitted via the mobile app. And then, of course, there is a fee associated with remote signature this year, but we also have the availability for you guys as the ERO to mark up that fee. So that is another spot where you guys can generate additional revenue this season, and that is available under a remote signature agreement.
Priscilla, if I could add in there too, for anybody who's used remote signature in the past, it's a great solution. What we do want to let everybody know is that we actually made a significant investment over this past summer into making sure that the back-end server solutions, everything was in place so that as the popularity of this program continues to grow, that the stability of the solution was maintained. So this is a great program for you, great opportunity for you. And then we, recognizing that, we made a substantial financial investment this past summer to go ahead and scale this up for you. So I think anybody who's used it will see the differences and really appreciate it. Anybody who hasn't used it yet, I think you're going to be very impressed with the solution. So I just wanted to put that out there, add a little bit of color to that for you, Priscilla.
Well, thank you, much appreciated. So yes, remote signature, it's a great offering. It's tied with both desktop and online. It's right there available for you guys to opt in and use. Okay, so what's new with Crosslink? It promotes a way for your tax professionals to expand their offerings with PPR. I mentioned that your new offering of business, go ahead and think about that if you're looking to expand your offerings. Our new revenue generator by remote signature, and as well as additional revenue with our e-file fee. So those are the biggest new changes to Crosslink this year. And with that said, I just want to make sure you guys are ready for season, see what Crosslink has available for you, and you guys can see these new things within your portal here at Crosslink. And with that, John, that concludes to my presentation for today, what's new on Crosslink.
Okay, thank you, Priscilla. Some great information, some great new features there. Folks, as you notice, a lot of this year's enhancements involved back end. What I'd like to remind everybody at this point is on the right-hand side of your screen. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the questions dialog box. We'll do our best to answer them. The one thing that we're not going to be able to answer for you will be anything about pricing. If it's a pricing question, I'll be happy to provide you with the contact information so we can get somebody to follow up with you. All right, with that, I'm going to move over to the questions for you, Priscilla. And the first question is in relation to Crosslink 1040 desktop. How would you know if you're utilizing TextLink Plus? How would you know when you've received a text message from your customer?
Yeah, definitely. And I can go ahead and show that for you where you can find that. So if I opt back into the program right here and I go to my work in progress page, you're going to see here on the other items queue, TextLink Plus inbound. So if you have any numbers occurring here at the end of this line item, you simply click on this option and it will show you your received messages.
Excellent. So
and you can also see them inside the tax return as well. There will be just underneath the document archive, there's another option to received messages.
Okay, so just like almost everything else, you're going to go to the your work in progress screen, and that information is going to be made available for you. While we're here, since you've got this up already, folks, and Priscilla can maybe highlight where it is, but this is also where when you have one of your customers submit a return from TaxPass, This is also where you would be notified that you have a return available. Okay, you can see there she's highlighting the TaxPass Mobile App retrieval in that first box in the upper left corner. And there you go. That would have a list of people that have submitted their returns via TaxPass. Really quick, just to highlight, it's kind of being asked because we move quickly. What's the difference, or which is better for you, TaxPass or TextLink Plus? They're very different solutions, and I'll give a little overview, and then Priscilla, feel free to jump in. But TaxPass as a mobile app is going to allow you to work with your customers, especially in a lot of the tools that you'll see, and a lot of the build out that we did our network over the past years. Understand that you're gonna have to do some more returns remotely that maybe you haven't in the past. And TaxPass is an application that allows you to do that. They can upload documents, start their W-2s, the information that populates in your work in progress screen for the returns. I'm sorry, the client data screen for your returns. What TextLink Plus does is enables you to communicate with your customers via text message, both to and from. So anything you want to add to that would be great, Priscilla.
No, yeah, great overview of both products. One is simply for you to gather your tax return, get the documents, and have that return basically started for you, and that's with TaxPass, the mobile app. So that's kind of, if you say, the whole package of needing a tax return being mobile with the customer. TextLink Plus is just simply communication. Hey, I need you to send me your documents. Hey, come pick up your check. It's that one-stop shop for communication rather than you stopping, going to your email or going to your cell phone to send that text message or phone call. You could just do it right there in the program by sending a text.
And as I mentioned, Priscilla being on the training team, myself being on the marketing team, we're not here to talk pricing. You'll need to talk to your sales team about that, unless it's something that doesn't cost you anything, which in the case of TaxPass, there is no cost for that for your customers. So you can definitely make that available to them. All right. And let's see if there's, okay. One of the things that we want to highlight, and it's come up a couple of times, one of the questions that we get is, if you're a Crosslink 1040 user, how do you access Crosslink Online? Or if you're Crosslink Online, how do you access the desktop solution? I want to be very clear that those are two different products. So what you need to do is decide which solution is best for your business, and that's what you'll be utilizing. Yes, if you're a Crosslink 1040 customer, we can go ahead and transfer your prior year returns over to Crosslink Online if that's the right solution for you. But you cannot toggle between Crosslink Online and Crosslink Desktop. Okay. And then again, in regards to TaxPass, maybe Priscilla, you can spend a second talking about how you can communicate with your customers via TaxPass. Let's say you've received their documentation, but you need an additional piece of supporting documentation. How would you communicate with a customer via TaxPass?
Yeah, definitely. So I think you may actually have a return that was submitted with the TaxPass. So if you take a look here, I opened up a return on a desktop application, and under my attached forms, I can even answer the previous question. As you see, I have TextLink Plus messaging, so that's sending a text message. But then I also have TaxPass messaging. So right here, if I click on this, I can communicate with the taxpayer that submitted this tax return via TaxPass, and I can write in, can you please send me your documents? And I can, write whatever message you need there, and that's once you hit send, then it now flows over to the mobile app, TaxPass, for that customer. And what that looks like, and I can go ahead and just hit close on that, and I can show you again. Here is where you will see what your taxpayer will see with the mobile app TaxPass. It's just like this, and it looks just like we're texting on our cell phone, but it's inside the app. They'll receive your message and can respond back to you. So it's a two-way communication between the mobile app and the software.
And ladies and gentlemen, to be very clear, whereas both involve communicating with the taxpayer, this is not text. So if you wanted to text a customer who wasn't utilizing TaxPass, not utilizing TaxPass, you would still need to use TextLink Plus.
Yes, because with the mobile app, you don't necessarily need their cell phone information captured. It's not required on the mobile app to put in their cell phone number. That's optional. So we are using, different ways, different back-end systems for you guys to be able to message in TaxPass and have that availability to you guys. Again, TextLink Plus, you do need, again, I'll go just show that on the client data screen, as you see here. You do need a cell phone number. You need to opt in to receive text messages and a carrier. So that is all what's needed to be able to hit the button here, send text, and be able to send that out.
Excellent overview, Priscilla. Thank you. And then one of the questions that came in, someone asked, are they now required to use remote signature? No. That is optional. We think it is a great option for you. We think it's an option that can help generate additional revenue for you within your tax office. But no, if you have, for example, if you have the signature pad in your office, you're still able to utilize that. All right, with that, Priscilla, if you can bring up the last screen again that shows the social media. I believe we've answered most of the questions that came in. I'm going to make one last pitch for you to join the conversation with us. I can't impress upon you enough that we're not using this to sell to you. We're using this to get information to you. So please follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. This presentation that you got today, as well as many others, are going to be made available to you on the YouTube page. By subscribing on YouTube, you'll be notified when a new video is posted. We also recognize that this is a very busy time of year and that there are many items that you guys are engaging in now in preparation for what is likely to be a very unique tax season due to COVID and in different areas of the country. So we encourage you to be vigilant on that front, but we'd also like to take a moment to thank you for joining us today. We realize your time is very valuable. So with that, on behalf of the Crosslink team, I'd like to thank you for joining today's call and spending a bit of your time with us as you learn what's new for Crosslink for this year. Priscilla, do you have anything to add?
Nope, you covered it all, but thank you guys all for listening in.
All right, with that concludes today's Crosslink webinar. Thank you.